Alright, hi everyone. We are live and there are 0 people watching. Awesome. Okay, I'm sure we'll get underway quickly. Sorry for the slight delay, a bit of technical issues, but we are going to be live shortly. So, UK Stimhack League 4 finals. This is going to be awesome. Yes, thanks. Okay, audio sounds good. Joining me today, we have the organizer of the UK Stimhack League, Russell. Hi, Russ.
Hello. One of the organisers, because the other organiser, Catherine, is swanning her way around Minnesota while we're doing the fun Stimhack Leagues thing. She's doing the icebreaker tournament before Worlds today. So she's sorry she can't be with us. She did a load of work organising the league, and we wish her lots of fun and good luck today.
So she's at Worlds, huh? Boring.
She's at World.
Boring. Yeah. We all know the fun is here. That's where the hype is. Alright, so that's Russell. We also have regional winner for this year. We have Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, guys. Very glad to be here.
Yep. Patrick, better known as Rotom Appliance. He will be joining us and will be one of our casters for today. Another one of our casters for today, we have Ollie. Hi, Ollie.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, not bad. How's everyone else?
Yep, I'm sure people are good, and yeah, more people streaming in. Very good. So let's get to what do you call it? Player introductions. So as usual, this year we have 4 finalists making it to this finals, and we'll be duking it out in the standard double elimination format. In first seed, we have Maxie, better known as Too Orange, Too Hype, Too Dive, Too whatever. Okay, so apparently Maxie's from Norwich or London, depending on whether he wins. Which one's which? Anyone?
I vote Norwich mostly because I like Norwich.
Norwich, the city with the most pubs in the United Kingdom, as if I recall correctly. It's got some insane number of pubs.
So that's 2 for Norwich. Okay, so Norwich is whatever. No one cares. And well, so Maxie also is a defending champion, so as to speak, having won UK Stimhack, the very first UK Stimhack League, in fact. So perhaps going to get a double title soon. Whether he can do that or not, we shall see. He also has a bunch of other accomplishments, including the fact that he once swept Chris Dyer, who will be at Worlds to defend his crown this weekend. That should be pretty fun to watch. And yeah, what decks is Maxie on today?
Dare we even ask?
He's playing CI and Smoke, isn't he?
CI and Smoke, all the meta choices. There's a very good chance that's going to reflect what will happen at Worlds, we shall see. But yeah, Smoke and CI, very strong IDs. Pretty sure you can expect some strong showings from Maxie today. In second seed, we have Toby, alias is knails, and also better known as Toby, first of his name, protector of the jank, outsourcer of deck names, stealer of ice creams, builder of combos, wearer of the lesser beanie, and legend has it he has never had more than 4 hours of sleep before a tournament. Poor Toby. He needs that sleep.
Did he write it?
Yeah, he did. It's a pretty long title, I must say.
Yeah, and I think you should say Toby's got some interesting deck choices. He's the decks that we've seen are definitely not sort of classic meta choices based on what we've seen playing around. So credit to him for coming up with something a bit more spicy. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the others react when they see the cards that he's installed. It's like, oh, okay. I think it's fair to say that if one was playing at a table with him, they're going to be some. Oh, let me read that card.
Could you remind all of you?
Definitely Toby.
It is indeed. And could you remind all of viewers what IDs Toby is bringing to the table today?
Well, drum roll, please. It's Gabe and Jemison.
Jemison! Oh yeah.
I know, right?
Okay, this is going to be something worth watching. So that's Toby. In our third seed, we have Peter, better known as motionblur, from Southampton/London. and is a Hockley Regional top card maker, as well as our first UK Stimhack League back-to-back finalist. So he made the Stimhack League finals last season, and now he's back again, hoping to do a bit better this time. This should be quite interesting. He's also, I think I've seen him practice his decks more often on JNet than everyone else, so he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I think the important question we should pose to Russell is, which of the vegetable cards has he won?
Which if he was in last time, he would have won a copy of Ben's card, which was Levy AR Greenhouse Access was the participation prize last time around, I think.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Wasn't it the Leafy AR Greenhouse Access?
That's the one, Leafy AR Greenhouse Access. I can't even remember. The unfortunate thing about the greenhouse, about the vegetable cards, is that the latest edition, the most wanted list and the banned list and rotations have meant that about 3/4 of the cards that we've made together are now not playable anymore. But no matter, we'll choose big ones in a.
Dear. Yeah, speaking about illegal cards, what's the card we have for this season? I think y'all can see in the background. It's the lovely Sensi Actors Onion. Too bad no one's going to be able to play it, but hey, it's Chris on it, so all good. It's a fantastic piece of art, I must say.
Oh, thank you very much. I really enjoyed painting that onion.
Yes, that onion is most gorgeous. And yes, for those of you who don't know, it was Ollie that painted this all art for Sensi Actors Onion. So there we go. Finally, in our 4th seed, we have Rufus, also known as callmedutch, also known as Rufus, from London, and has done pretty well in a bunch of tournaments, and is an expert in taking overnight bus journeys to ANR tournaments. A bit of a questionable achievement there, but what we do know is that he's also an Anarch and HP fanboy. Is he playing Anarch and HP today?
Nope.
Boo.
No. According to his name, of course, he's playing Agin.
Oh, what a ruse!
And Haley.
Haley, indeed, interesting. It'll be interesting to see whether his Haley has a mongoose in there, as a long-time griefer of the Strong Goose.
Strong Goose promised to sign a copy of Mongoose for me, so I'm putting this out now, on record, to shame him that he needs to do it.
Strong Goose, you heard that? You heard that? Alright. So that's our players, and here's the bracket for this evening. We will have 1st seed play off 4th seed, and 2nd play off 3rd. The higher seed gets to choose their side in the 1st round, and our first game, the first game that we'll be casting is Maxie versus Rufus. Maxie will be running, so we have, I believe, Smoke versus Agin. Is that correct?
We do.
Yeah. So yeah, Maxie's chosen Smoke as runner, and so it's going to be Maxie's Smoke versus Rufus's Rufus's deck, whichever one he's playing. Let me refresh my memory.
All right.
Rufus is on Agin Fusion. So interesting matchup.
Okay. Cool. Alright, so we are going to get into the game shortly. Our first casters for the evening will be Patrick and Russell, so you both can join the game, and once I'm in there, we'll get started.
Yep.
Yep. Alrighty.
Alright, take it away, folks.
Okie doke. So I love this matchup. It's really interesting, and I play it on both sides.
Yeah. So I've not played much Smoke. I played a little bit of it, but I played a pretty similar Agin Fusion deck to this in regionals this year, and it was good. Limiting issue that I found, because I was playing Ouroboros's version, was money. You think you've got lots of money, and then it just bleeds away as you res your expensive ice and so on. So I think that's going to be the challenge for Rufus, is how to manage his money and get credits effectively.
Yeah, I've been playing something very similar to Rufus's. He's changed it a little bit, but it does look very much like a deck we discussed a few weeks ago. And yeah, money is the huge thing. This ID is very money hungry. It's a bit of a shock to the system for a long time HB player like me or Polana. you run out of money so fast. It's all the installing, all the install costs, all the clicks to trigger your ID. It just disappears like that. So
yeah,
14 econ cards, more than average, but it still feels like it's not enough.
Yeah. So I suppose the other thing to think about here in the matchup is that if Rufus can manage his ice effectively, then he can defuse the indexing runs and the mad dash runs and so on R&D, and that's one of Maxie's main lines of attack. Really, is R&D access as smoke, I guess.
It is, yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of tech for indexing. He's got his ID. He's got Crisium. He's got 2 Mirages, I believe. So it's going to be really hard to land that indexing against him.
But who needs to index when you have that HQ? He just played that celebrity gift. This is really juicy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of... I assume he mulled and he got this because this is a bad opening hand. The turning wheel is also really nice on smoke as a form of multi-access, so it's good.
Yeah, so Rufus kept, ironically.
Kept this, did he?
Yeah.
He had a lot of money, but it seems risky. Did he have the 2 Obercarters and not the Philotic when he kept it?
I think he drew an Obercarter as his first draw.
Okay, so he just had 1 agenda, so fair enough. He's just got a rough draw so far. So he's come into the hand, he's missed, luckily for Rufus. Still has quite a lot of money.
There's Miraju. So Miraju is going to be good. Although Miraju on R&D is also good if you can get it behind. If you get it. Sorry, let me just nip off into the other game and just let them know they can start.
Okay. Yeah, it's good if you can have it behind another ice. It's not as good in front because they can just keep kind of bumping into it and de-resing it and then running again and forcing you to spend more money. But it'd be nice if he could fire it here on the hand and reshuffle one of these agendas. He's not going to be able to because that's a refractor.
Yeah. If you're not careful with the Miraju placement, it ends up being a mini vamp because they can just basically break it on the outside and bounce into archives. And if you've got nothing there to hurt them, it just becomes them spending 1 credit as an IU 2 credits.
Yeah, or for smoke, in fact, spending nothing with stealth.
Spending nothing at all, yeah. So I think if he's going to make that work, he needs some more ice in front of it.
He does, but you really don't want to ice HQ that much against a shaper. It's annoying to have to spend that much ice on the hand. He'd really like another ice, just anything, so that he can put that on a remote and then put the Excalibur above it, and then he can start scoring.
Yeah.
But
so he's just gifted him. It's a good. I mean, it's not a bad hand to attack because you want to kill those batties if you can as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
While they're not threatening much. He's got the SATCON out, so he doesn't. Batty Fire's not going to do much.
Yeah, he can definitely get in. The IP block is it's annoying enough to be relevant, but it's not going to keep him out if he wants to go in. So he's got a DNA tracker.
Yeah,
so
when you get that res, it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I would also be considering just putting that on the remote and putting the Excalibur above it and just starting the Route 1 plan as quick as possible. Res the Excalibur and then bounce him into archives so that your agenda is safe. Problem is you really want to score a Nisei first with that, and he does not have a Nisei to score.
Yeah. Just looking at his agenda suite. So his agenda suite is 3 Nisei, 3 Obercarter, 1 TFP, 1 Philotic.
Yes, it's definitely one of the themes of the deck is to abuse the Obercarter in the late game. You can sometimes get it so that they can't possibly steal it at all. Breach dome.
So Kieran also not running feedback filter in his deck.
Yes, so he's
got an on the lamb, which is going to help him out if he hits, for sort of the snare hits and things like that. But I don't think Rufus is running snare.
And there's no snare in the corp. It's better in other matchups. It's more for CI and stopping combos and things. It's not that good against Ag Infusion. You'd rather have the feedback filter so that you can run through Kakago and still steal the Obercarter, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of tech cards, it's quite important to note that Maxie has already reviewed their restricted card, its Clone Chip. So this implies he's not... they're not running Film Critic. And that's an important consideration when you see all the Obokatas there.
Yeah, nor Employee Strike. So if I'm the co-op, I'm happy to see that he doesn't have either of those, although I expect that I'm probably going to have to let Tapworm sit on the table all game, which is a bit of a problem, because you can't really purge 4 or 5 times to get rid of it.
Yeah. So hit points are interesting here, right? So Kieran's down to 17 cards in his stack, 5 in hand. So he's down to 22 hit points. Kakugo's going to be a thing. Rufus is running a couple of Kakugo, which are going to give him damage whenever he runs in.
Yeah.
So to steal 2 Obokata, which he might have to do, he's still looking at there's 8 damage right there, 10 damage if they're both behind Kakugo. It's a little bit tight. He's still drawing.
Yeah, most of the time they will just naturally. They need all their stuff, and then they get down to about 5 left, and you can start just working on the number of cards. You can get bits of damage here and there to get them down. I was going to talk about maybe jamming something now, but he's played an SMC, so he has access to the AI breaker. Is it an ash in the ash is in the remote, isn't it?
Missed that one. So there's a Batty on R&D.
I believe it is the ash, yes.
Yeah, it's Crisium on R&D.
It's Crisium on R&D, okay.
Yeah, so he's pushing the Obokata. I think that's reasonable. You want to put some pressure on Smoke. You don't want to just let her set up completely unmolested. He could keep him out just by resing Excalibur and then, well, thinking of them. So Divey is an expensive... He's using Divey as his AI breaker. That's quite expensive to tutor for. And then to break Excalibur. So he might be good just with the Ash to keep him out. Let's see what Maxie does in response to this, whether he wants to fetch it yet. This is the other reason IP block is so good in the list, because you fork them by making them fetch an AI breaker, and then IP block punishes it with a tag, so that's one of the reasons to have it. Yeah, he's thinking. Yeah, he lets it fire. So he's going to let this one go.
So interesting question is memory management. So I think Maxie's only got Astrolabe, so he's got 5 memory slots.
Yes.
If he wants to have 3 breakers plus Divey plus Cloak out, he's going to struggle to fit in Tapworm.
Yeah, he won't be able to have the Tapworm if he goes for that. Looks like he's not interested in installing that yet. I wonder if he'd only advanced it once, would he go for it because he'd think it was a Nisei, whereas here he thinks it's an Obokata, so he's happier to leave it. Don't know.
Yeah, so he can fetch Divey, break Excalibur.
He can, but he's allowed it to fire.
I think the decision here is whether he wants to use Iron Fusion's ability to redirect, because...
Oh, yes, okay.
Maxie cannot run, and yes, there is a redirection on HQ.
Sends him to the hand, which is a bit strange. Because if you send him to the bin, it's just a useless run, whereas here you've given him the option of finishing the run and maybe... hitting something, so I think Archives was better.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there.
Doesn't get anything though. So the problem with scoring Obokata like this is afterwards your remote is it's not amazing because you don't have the Nisei token to pair with the Excalibur. If this was a Nisei, the second agenda would be much clearer to score.
Yeah. So now the Tapworm comes down, which means he doesn't have space for Divey.
Indeed. So I think you just have to ignore it. It's going to make him so much money, but you cannot really purge that many times, can you?
Right.
It's too ridiculous. Tolbu, there's a nice draw. That might beef up his remote.
So rotation nerfing or removing caprice from considerations made the Ash Infusion deck significantly worse, because you can only rely on Batty and Ash in the remote.
Yeah, it's a real shame. It's still viable, but I think probably just because runners became weaker overall, there's much less to worry about. He reshuffled the Oberkata, so fair enough. To protect his hand as much as possible. If I'm Rufus, I'm considering Tollbooth remote Philotic Batty and just try and push it through, assuming it doesn't get stolen here. Misses, but he's going to trash the Batty. So
the Batty's gone.
Yeah. Because also with it being Philotic, he might just not run it. He might just assume it's nothing. Although he has seen it gifted, hasn't he? So draws another over.
All right, another Oberkata.
So is he going to try something here? He could also, he could put the Fairchild on top. I think maybe I'd have gone Tollbooth on top and then bounce with the Fairchild. It's a bit more taxing. But it might be that he plans to just res both of them.
Yeah. The thing the challenge I always have when playing against Smoke is working out how many stealth credits they've actually got available to them at any one time, given net Merca and what they can, what they can do with it. Count the credits, and then you've got to add one right for each run, because they've effectively got 5. So he's effectively got 5 credits now.
Yeah, you have to add 1 for every run, and then you have to count all the recurring. I just assume she has infinite money most of the time. But maybe this is so. Let's have a look. To break, so he can keep him out. He might have to pay a lot of money with his Ash, but he could keep him out. First, he's probably gonna. Oh no, he doesn't have the Batty, does he? So it is just Ash. So he may have to spend quite a lot.
Yeah, so those 37 credits that he had at the start of this turn are now gone down to 15.
Yep, he's got his counterplay against Tapeworm just right. So, okay, that's going to fire. So, is he going to... He can save this, but he would have to pay almost all his money, so I don't know if he'll want to.
So I got some input on my own play as Jinteki and playing against Jinteki, because I always found it to be a real struggle to know how to win against damage decks. And Constantin Calvasil was talking to me, and it was essentially saying the windows that you have are card scoring windows rather than necessarily credit scoring windows. So if they steal an Oberkata and then go down to no cards in hand, you then have a scoring window to score something else, because they can't draw back up to the right number of cards then to pull that through. That's not quite that in Age Infusion, because you don't have the extra damage off the ability that you do have with PE, and of course he's not playing snares and other things like that.
Yeah, I find it's a combination, and each game you have to decide like how realistic it is to tax their money, how realistic it is to tax their cards, and you can look for windows for either. And it depends a lot on which restricted card they're playing. So obviously the critic turns off the card plan, the strike turns off your ID, but it's just about finding which angle you can abuse the most, and there's several. So it looks like he's let him have the Philotic. He's pumped it a bit just to tax him, I guess. And he's left himself at 9 credits, so Tapeworm's only going to give 1. I don't know if he plans to jam the Oberkata, but I think Maxie can get it.
So can he get him through that? That's the question, right? He's got 3 credits. He's got 2 McCurr credits, and he's going to have his ID and Smoke going to regenerate.
So he'll have 4 because of the Tapeworm. Tollbooth costs 5, Excalibur costs nothing, and the Fairchild costs 4 if you want to break it fully. So he could click up to 6 and then run, which means he would have enough money. it would be painful, but he would probably go for it because it's 3 points. So I don't think you can jump.
So I guess what's interesting here is, so Kieran's clone chips, their only real function in this situation is to keep Tapworm on the board.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what else is, just there for Tapworm. And I suppose in other matchups it would be there to recover Clot, for example. So you've got Clot Lock, but then there's not going to be any fast advance out of Rufus's deck here.
So that's the main function. I mean, you can get back the odd breaker that gets trashed, but it's not really the theme of this core. It's not trashing, so yeah, that's the main thing. And it's a deterrent here. It just means that you don't even consider purging it. Yeah, so he put some Marilyn in there, which is probably going to stay. He's done a good job of kind of making himself a little bit poor, but putting the money into ice so that the Tapworm's not ridiculous.
Yeah. How's he going to, it's an interesting one. How's he going to, what's his scoring plan here?
Yeah, it's a bit. He needs a batty, really. He needs to be able to.
I guess he can preemptive the batties and the ash back.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, Maxie's not very rich, so any upgrade would probably do just to start jamming. But as long as he doesn't have the die V, you can always use batty. Just make them hit the Excalibur and then just end the run, and you've got your score. So. He just needs to draw that, but Maxie's coming after the hand now.
That's interesting. No, he's breaking it. He's breaking it to bounce into Archives, so he's basically vamping Rufus down now.
It's to vamp him, yeah. So is he going to go again?
I would.
Yeah, if you started, then there's a clear sense that he's got agendas in hand. He's been shown agendas earlier, so
yeah,
he knows it's more there than R&D at the moment.
That's a bit now. If he can get that live, then that's good. Get that rezzed. That'll be a bit more taxing.
Slight mistake. He forgot to res the Marilyn. Maxie doesn't mind. Rufus does. Yeah, fair enough.
Fair.
Yeah. Now, what would be a great bluff is if you advance it. Top level competition, yeah. We're not messing around. We're not worlds. We're better than that. Now he has to think what's.
So what are Rufus's outs here at this stage in the game?
So I think it's mainly Batty or the Ash. I think the upgrade is the thing he's missing right now that would allow him to push something. Because
so 2 Batties and an Ash in the bin.
Yeah, so he needs those back. He, like you say, I think just needs to preemptive.
Yeah, he's got 1 Batty left.
Yeah, he's got 1 left in the deck. But that would allow him to score if he could win a side game. Maxie's not in a position to be installing the die V right now. He doesn't have the money, he doesn't have the memory. So Excalibur is still a gear check, as it were, if he can win a side game.
Yeah, and he's got the scoring. He's just about. Well, he had a scoring window. It's kind of gone now.
Now it doesn't exist in terms of money.
Maxie down to 12 cards left.
Yeah, it could be relevant. The R&D ice must be the tracker. Yeah.
Oh, so, interesting include. He's got Stimhack.
Yes, I know.
So that remote is never safe.
It's a bit unusual. It's not very good for stealing Oberkatas, though, it has to be said.
No.
Not the best. even kill yourself if you forget that you played a Stimhack at the start of the round.
Yeah, this is not good. I've been in games against Maxie when they've had this same thing, mirrored you on the outside. It's just you just don't res it. You know.
I think I almost would have put the DNA tracker on HQ, because he's not indexing anytime soon. There's a Crisium on R&D.
No.
So maybe just to avoid this. Does he mean to jack out of the archives run after he gets redirected?
Oh yes, yeah, that's fine.
There is indeed.
And of course, the other thing that Maxie's also got at any stage here is he can always just bounce for turning wheel counters, right? So if it doesn't get rezzed, he can just bounce if he wants us to, and then access everything. You know, he can go for a 4-card HQ access.
Yeah, he absolutely can. This is why
even if he hits two, even if he hits two of a card, so he just elect to steal one of them, leave the other.
Yeah, it's such a good card for smoke. You can just run, you can charge your Net Mercure up and your turning wheel at the same time. You don't lose any momentum. It's very, very good. And he can do that twice because he's got the smoke credit and the cloak, so he can get click twice for stealth credits.
Yeah.
2 runs. So.
And of course, on the other hand, if Rufus could get the DNA tracker rezzed on archives, it makes this a much better play.
Yeah, because then he has to deal with that every time he goes to archives. So
yeah,
it's what you want: either something annoying in front of the Mirage or something annoying on archives.
Yeah.
Maxie can jack out if he's redirected with Mirage. So.
Even if the ice is rezzed, Ben,
yes,
is that right?
You can only force encounters if either you have Labyrinth servers or if you're using Egg Infusion's ability.
Yeah. So yes, it says he approaches the outermost ice, not he encounters the outermost ice.
Okay, so he really wants something outside of that.
So yeah, subtle detail there.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting because Maxie right now is completely vamping Rufus by forcing the Mirage res every click.
He is. I mean, at least he's got some money he can play. He's got the Marilyn going, so he's not going to run out immediately. But he really wants another ice. He hates to do this, he says. And this goes to show, though, it's one downside to the Ag Infusion ability and Mirage. It's not good against sustained pressure like this. It stops indexings and siphons in the old days, but it doesn't stop Moore and turning wheel. Right,
and Rufus is conceding.
Yep.
That seems a bit premature, but fair enough.
It's 4 points up. I don't know. I mean, I think there could be a window to score one Obicata off stealing another one, because Maxie's would have to draw up to 4 and then run again.
Yeah.
I mean, the outs was slim. As Patrick rightfully pointed out, I think it's Batty that you need. And yeah, a Nisei token early would have helped a lot, which he didn't get.
Yeah. He plays a fast track, so which I don't, but he added it, and I think it makes a lot of sense. It lets you get the one you want and score it first. Games where you score the Obicata first like this, a bit awkward.
Yeah, and the IP block inside again. There's no pressure for Maxie to actually get through that. They can just bounce off that for a turning wheel counter if you don't res the Mirage on the outside. So one game when ice placement.
Yes, I think
ice placement's the thing.
ID. It's a very sort of tricky ID to play, and you commit your ice. Side later it was wrong, but yeah, it's
all right.
Unfortunately, didn't get a great draw, did he? He drew a lot of agendas before he wanted them.
No, yeah, that was a pretty awful draw, which is really unfortunate because I think this Eigenfusion deck is really interesting. So anyway, here's the bracket, and here are the standings. So Maxie won that game as Smoke, and on the other side of the bracket we have Peter, who emerged victorious. So we are gonna play off the match to determine who's placing fourth, which is in the losers bracket. It's Toby versus Rufus, and we'll hop into that right away.
Okay. Are they setting up a game right now?
Hopefully.
I'll have a quick look at the decks.
Oh yes, we are determining sides now. So yeah.
Okay, so Toby was playing the game.
So yeah, what are the IDs here? Maxie is coping, so Maxie is playing CI. And wait, no. That we're not watching Maxie. We're watching the other side.
Yeah. So he's got Gabe and Jemison, and Rufus is doing Haley and Ag Infusion.
So bear with us, folks. We're just figuring out the scheduling and the sides, and then the game will be up shortly.
Alright, so Toby will be coping, and he's playing Jemison. That should be a fun one to watch. Rufus will be switching sides, so we'll get to catch his... What's his ID? Is it Haley?
It's Haley, yeah.
Right, so Rufus will be Haley. That should be an interesting match.
Do we spoil what Toby's doing with his corp or not?
You could. I trust the players won't be watching the stream, so go ahead.
No, the key is in the name, Jemison Murder Nautics.
There is that. It's not a ruse. He really is trying to kill the runner. He's got 3 copies of Boom, actually. You don't see that very often.
3 copies of Boom and the June Bug.
And the June Bug.
Spicy June Bug.
And the reversed accounts. And he's fast advancing, kind of. Shipment from Tenin. The O-Birth Protocol. So yeah, lots of stuff going on in this deck.
I think an interesting one here is whether the Stinson gets to fire or not. So you only need 1 or 2 Stinson fires, and you're basically off to the races.
Yes. The deck is quite poor apart from that. He's got Hedge Fund, he's got 2 IPOs.
All right,
I guess he has...
Is
The game's up, great. Cool. Yeah, he's got commercial bankers. I don't know how easily he's going to make that stick because he doesn't have any protection for them. His ID doesn't protect them, so I'd expect that to get trashed.
Oh, he actually has bankers. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's unusual in a non-Gagarin Wayland list. So he mulled, did he? Or yes, he mulled into what looks like quite a nice hand.
Yeah, that's not bad.
You can... Yeah,
neither the Archer nor the Wormhole are going to do anything in the short term, though.
That's not the best ice to start off with. Rufus kept his hand, which also looks quite nice. He's got enough money. He's got programs he can start with.
Yeah, that's the advantage of being a commentator and knowing what's going on, because if you know what's going on, you just run his hand, right? Nothing's going to hurt you.
Everything we say is right.
Yeah.
Or if you're Maxie, you know what's going on anyway, and you run their hand.
Yes.
Toby. Toby. This is kind of fun.
You're not Gagarin, Toby. Install advanced Junebug. Put the archer on top.
Yeah, could do that. Although if you know res, then that's a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah. Okay.
Rufus has got the misdirection, so
yeah, that's really good. Actually,
that's going to help.
Yeah, against hard-hitting news.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this Haley list, because I briefly looked at it and thought it was quite good, but I can't remember why. Yeah, it's more bursty than normal, isn't it? He's got the peace in our time, he's got laundry. Most of them are sort of on Proco and even tech writers, but this looks like a bit of a faster list. Advances the worm.
Oh, look at that employee strike. That's gonna be so rude.
Yeah, and he's got strike. Yeah, that's the other thing. Do you think employee strike is unusual in Haley? I feel like most of them are on clone ship or critic.
Probably a meta call for this 4-person meta. If you're expecting a lot of CI, it seems pretty fair to pack a strike or two.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. It's good against Agate Fusion. It's good against this.
So, question then is, with the breakers that Rufus is running, how expensive is it going to be for him to break Archer? I guess he's going to need Atman on that, because Nanok is going to be really expensive.
Well, yeah, it depends on the size of the server. So if he gets it at 4 strength as a base,
so bad.
It would cost 7 to break, which is not terrible for Archer. You don't really plan to run through it a bunch of times. He's got David, which I suppose could break it once or twice. He's got 3 scavengers for his David, so
that's
maybe
fair.
that would cover him enough. Okay, he's indexing through the Archer, so he's just face checked that and indexed. And he's seen something. Yep.
That's always good to steal.
Yeah. Okay, he's drawn a nice wall, so that's still good for the time being. He's really missing having a Jackson Howard, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah.
It's the kind of hand you just want to draw
Jackson
and pin
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also pretty tough to think of any way in which Toby can land a boom kill, given that he's got misdirection installed.
Yeah, he would have to do something quite foolish.
He's got one false lead, I think.
Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah,
that's not going to help.
Yeah, Rufus must be very happy to see that hard-hitting news there.
Yeah. If he scores 2 false leads, he could land hard-hitting news and then boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be quite final. Oh, he's trashed the boom. Okay. Yeah, so he's running the hand, and obviously there's no point resing that.
So with a no res there on either R&D or on HQ, do you not run in more? So what is the fact that he no resed on both eyes tell you?
Tells you it's a worm.
When he's at 15 credits.
Yeah, it pretty much is a wormhole. I guess he might be assuming that it's something expensive and that the corp has nothing in hand, so he's just not bothered about resing it. That's the other interpretation. Like, it could be a firewall or something, and he's just not bothering because he's got nothing in hand. So,
yes. So you mean that? Yes. So that you mean that he's saying that there's nothing to steal. So
because he's run it twice and he's missed. So fair enough. Perhaps he just assumes there's nothing to see yet. Okay, so peace in our time. So
what happened with the SMC there? Did he pop that?
I wasn't paying
Oh,
attention.
he's doing it now. Yeah, he's popped it for. He's getting a rig set up.
Yeah, so he now has easy access to the entire rig. He needs it. Ooh, Audacity. I assume this deck has Clot though.
I think it will do.
Yeah, he Clot definitely. So that is also not a guarantee. Well, especially not with 2 foods in hand. You have to get rid of those.
Yeah, he's not seen a food.
I mean, he can't say he draws an Atlas. It's difficult to use the Audacity to score it while you've got these 2 foods just clogging up your hand because they would go into the bin. So yeah, still not clear what he can do. He's got a lot of money, but no way to leverage it yet. And Rufus is going for the hand again. Okay, yeah. Audacity. He gets one of them.
Yep.
So what do you do as Toby here? You have a lot of money.
Weep salty tears, I think.
Yeah, well,
Looks like-
you jam food.
Yeah, you jam a food, that's what you do. Seems legit.
Where did that June bug go? Did it get trashed? Yeah, okay.
He discarded it.
Because that's probably what I would do if I was Toby.
Yeah, that's a very good call.
So is he bluffing a trap? Because he's got to know that Rufus can get in here.
That must be what it is. He's just hoping that Rufus won't go for it. No.
Oh, that's game.
That's the game.
That's
He's
so
not
game.
playing. Yeah. Houseless, but he can easily get in.
Ah,
Very
that-
cleanly played game by Rufus there.
That's so sad. Both times, interesting corps just never really got a chance to shine. Pretty bad draws by both.
Yeah,
Rufus in the
he
first
just
game. Yeah.
didn't see the stuff he wanted, did he? Oh, see, if this was the June bug, he would,
He'd be so
he would
close to the
die
flat
now.
line. Yeah. That would have been funny.
So although it's a bit nitpicky, I don't think I would have let the Mausolus do net damage to me there. I think I would have broken that just so as to survive a June bug.
It was calculated. Very well
Very
calculated.
calculated. Yeah.
Yeah, and that also means we don't get to see Toby's Spicy Gabe deck on stream either.
Oh dear. Yeah, he just didn't find the ice early on that he wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough mulligan.
And well played by Rufus. He did the right balance of sort of setting up, but then made the calculated runs on the hand when he thought that there was stuff in there. And it worked.
Alright, hi Ollie.
Hi.
Alright. So we are gonna be doing a switch of casters for now. But first, congratulations to Rufus on advancing through the lower bracket. Unfortunately, Toby has lost and will drop out in 4th place. Very unfortunate game for him there, but it is what it is. So, our next game will feature the winners finals, which is Maxie versus Peter. Does anyone have who's playing what handy?
Right, let's have a look. So, I believe Maxie's corping, correct?
Yes, that's right. Yep. Maxie.
That means Maxie's playing CI. Ooh.
Spicy.
And Peter's playing Smoke. In fact, I don't know if we've noted that before, because I've been a bit in and out of the stream, but they're playing mirror matchups.
Are they? No, I have not noted that before. That is really interesting.
It is. I wonder what type of brews they have, so to speak.
And I think their CI decks are slightly different as well. So this should be interesting. Let's get them up to play. That's Maxie versus motionblur. And yes, for those of you who are wondering, the world's icebreaker is going on right about now. I'm not sure who's streaming it. Code Marvelous might be. I'm not very sure. But one thing's for sure, that's not fun. If you want to be where the action's at, you should be watching this. All right. So,
absolutely. We've got the cream of the crop.
Exactly. All right. Game's up. Let's hop on in.
I don't think it's passworded.
Nah, that's fine.
Sure.
As
Cool.
long as all right, so we are ready to go whenever. All right, we have. Whoa! Look at that! Spicy hands from both sides. We have Team Turtles. Do you love Turtle?
Who doesn't love Turtle?
It's so awesome. Did you see the art that Kat made?
Kat Shan, yes. In fact, I will be proxy trading with her because, of course, I ended up not going to Worlds, choosing this instead. But Sam is going instead. So shout out to anyone if you're at Worlds and watching this instead, as you should. Go find Sam. He might have something for you that I made.
Oh. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Kat's art on my quad is absolutely beautiful. I'm really sad I'm not able to make Worlds because I want my hands on a piece of that.
Yes, it is absolutely stunning. We have so many talented artists here. It's astonishing, honestly.
Indeed, and I don't actually know what you came up with, Ollie. I'd like to see what it is.
Well, I'm not actually taking anything new. So there's some of the onions, a bit of the smokes that I've made for bringing out the Brits.
I see.
And the super exclusive cost double-sided arts.
All right.
They've caused quite a stir here, which I'm very pleased because I haven't got one in my hands yet.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to actually have one copy of my own. In the meanwhile, this CI is pretty icy.
Yeah, there's a remote going. There's an MCA going. Everyone loves MCA. Okay. So, okay. Very offensive play by Peter there, going for the legwork on HQ and gets hosed by a Mirage immediately. So that should help Maxie out, being able to bury one of their agendas. Probably going to put the Vitruvius into R&D. Yep. That's what Maxie does. And we see an efficiency committee steal, an archive memories access, Kaguya access. So one agenda, not too bad for a legwork on the Miraju.
Not at all. And obviously some of the cards that Maxie have been revealed as well, which seems rather obvious, but it's kind of important to know that they have archived memories.
Oh yes. You having access to those cards in the bin, especially the Jeeves that is no longer there, that's pretty important. Okay, so let's see. Both are on pretty decent credit levels, and Maxie is threatening the MCA. Could possibly pop it next turn or the turn after, but more! Another one of those cute cards. More's on the table now.
Oh my gosh. And look at all of those indexings he has. This is like indexing for days.
Yeah. All Peter has to do is to find out what ice it is on R&D. Oh, it's a Miraju. That basically turns off all the indexings, doesn't it? Because it shuffles R&D after every run. That's gonna be a pain.
It really does, doesn't it? Oof.
Yep. So Peter here has to force Maxie to keep rezzing and de-rezzing that Miraju. I'm not sure if Maxie's gonna allow it though. I think if I were him, I'd be putting that Seda on R&D right about now.
Definitely.
Nope. Maxie disagrees with us both. They're just going to score the Vitruvius for one extra advancement. So that's one Vitruvius counter.
That's good.
Womp. That's a card.
Maxie once told me and some other friends of ours that they're thinking about getting matchy shoulder tattoos of Moor and Worm.
Oh, I thought you'd get matching shoulder tattoos of Moore and Reverse Moore. That would be...
Well, Warm is Reverse Moore, isn't it?
More spin.
If you're not in Slack and you're tremendously confused about what we're talking about, we have a Moore emoji and one of Mirrored Moore that is called WOM. So hopefully that clears it up.
Yes. Moore and WOM. Best friends forever. Alright, access and R&D. Archive memories gets moored. Sad times.
Oh dear.
Oh, but interestingly, Peter did not go for the over advanced Vitruvius. Curious. Yeah, I guess they just weren't confident enough to contest the remote, so the Vitruvius is gonna get scored. Interesting.
I mean, yeah, given his financial situation, you know, the fear of running into a Fairchild is a very real fear, so...
Yeah, it's important to note Peter had only 3 clicks to deal with because the MCA was popped that turn. So very good point there. After thinking about it, you are absolutely right. Peter just couldn't afford to run the remote. So this Vitruvius is going to be... Oh, never mind. It's over.
Hey!
That just happened.
I'm blown away. Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. Well, who needs indexing? Who needs 3 of them when you can just run R&D for single access?
Gosh, well, not really sure what to say about this game, honestly. It was a bit of a wind.
Yeah, congrats to Peter for making it to the finals, I guess. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And good job to Maxie as well.
Yeah, I think Maxie played that about as best as they could, to be honest.
I mean, sometimes luck is just not on your side, and there's not much you can do about it, no matter how good of a player you are.
Yeah, I'm just really bummed out, because this is the 3rd straight co-op game in a row where the co-op just died to agenda flat.
I know, we've been having really, really fast games.
Yeah, indeed. And pretty lopsided as well. With that kind of R&D access, Maxie didn't really stand a chance. So, let's take a look at the standings for now. Let's bring them up. There we go. So, oops, missing here, but Peter has made the finals of the finals. He will be one of 2 people competing for the awesome Sensiitis Onion mat. That is absolutely beautiful. And yes, painted by you, of course. And yeah, joining Peter there will be either Rufus or Maxie, depending on who wins this one. So I believe they're flipping sides for now. Have they determined who's going to play what? Hopefully they have.
I think Rufus is just slightly taken aback by the speed of this game.
Yes, I think he barely had 5 minutes to have a rest or something. But, well, it's time to get into the game once again when they're ready.
I believe they're setting up a current coin flip right now.
Cool.
Although how you do that over Slack remains a question. Do we have a command for that?
Well, we have a side command.
Oh, of course we do.
Okay, so to audience, just hold out while we settle the sides and everything here.
So, Ben, what's your prediction for the next Onion card?
That's a very good question. It will probably be designed by the top placing Brit at Worlds. Oh
God, imagine if it's Dan Dargenio. That would be terrible.
No. He's not a Brit. Get lost.
Exactly. Although Kenny is an honorary Brit, in that no one can tell Kenny and Alex apart.
That is so true. So true. Yeah. That's a pretty tough one. I have no idea. I need some good puns. Yeah, it's a bit late here. I can't think of any good puns off my head. Maybe you can think of one as we progress through this evening. We can join the game. But yeah, the giant vegetable series of cards so far has been great. If not for the fact that half of them are illegal for use.
Yes, I feel like we need to make slightly less overpowered cards, perhaps.
So true, so true. Alright, you're in? Let's play. So, we have Maxie running Smoke versus Ag Infusion. Looks familiar? Yep, it's a rematch from our game 1. Hopefully Rufus gets a better draw this time. Do you mulligan? Tough call.
Oh, that is such a tough one.
It's a decent hand. It has the eyes, it has Celeb Gift for money, but not the Nisei that you so badly needed last game.
I mean, he can still perhaps Celeb Gift and ice something. I don't see...
Yeah. It's tough because if he doesn't ice R&D, we can see Maxie's hand. There's an indexing there. That's not going to be nice. And yeah, Rufus's reaction is completely the same as mine. Too borderline. It's okay, but I think he needs better.
I think from my experience, whenever I get a borderline hand, if I keep it, it goes tits up. So I think probably mulliganing is the right call here.
Surely you can't mulligan to anything worse, can you? Surely not. Surely. On the other side.
In the meanwhile, Maxie's hand is
juicy,
but completely lacking any finance.
That is true. There is no finance at all. Yep.
And being a shaper, you need a bit of that extra cash.
And so they mull. And yes, that's all the finances you can ever want. Tapworm, Peace in Our Time, Stimhack, you name it. Maxie's got it. That's amazing. Oh, opening the turn 1 Obo Kata on HQ. Does Maxie go for it? Or does he play Peace? I think Maxie should run HQ at least to get a Tapworm down. And that, it's an IPO. Again.
Oh dear.
IP block. Again. Chris Young Grid. All of them but the Obo Kata.
Oof.
Maxie's not going to get it. Surely not. I think if I were them, I would have installed a Tapworm on that last click. Just because.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, this is a bit desperate here. Oh, he got it! They got it! Oh! Well, paid off. What do I know about Netrunner? What do I know?
This whole tournament has just been riddled with those unexpected twists.
Yeah. But speaking of riddle, Maxie's hand is riddled with bullets as well. It's down to a single sack con. All the money down the drain.
Oh dear.
I'm not sure if that was worth it, honestly.
For 3 points,
Maybe.
I mean, the one thing to remember is getting 3 points is also taking 3 points away from your opponent.
True that, true that.
I think I sounded like Alex White for a second.
Shout out to Alex White. Best memes.
But yeah, I think in Rufus's place, I would have iced everything as much as I possibly could.
Yeah, just couldn't do that with Celebrity Gift, could you? I mean, he had to make a choice, HQ or R&D, and I think he went for the right one. Just didn't pay off. Alright, speaking of ice, that's ice on every single server. Case closed.
Let's keep track of what he's got. So we're seeing an IP block on Archives, DNA tracker on R&D, which is a wise choice given that we know Maxie has indexing, or had indexing. Another DNA tracker on HQ, an IP block on the remote. That's a pretty solid positioning.
Solid's the word. I like it. Yeah, Rufus is in a bit of an awkward spot now. Doesn't want to give Maxie 5 clicks, so he plays the itchy there just to deny the last click. Not too bad.
And once again, Chrissy on R&D.
Strong, very strong play. Prevents the indexing, or at least delays it for a bit. Important to note that Maxie is pretty poor. A lot of money down the drain makes that Christium harder to trash. Now, I like this Excalibur here. I think it's, if Rufus has learned anything from the last game, he wants an Excalibur on the remote with as many unrest eyes below it as possible to trigger Egg Infusion. This should be good.
And there we are. He just went and did it.
Yep. Good on you, Rufus. And hey, that's the indexing we were talking about. And the Divey. Interesting.
Ooh.
Maxie is super poor. He's clicking for credits.
He can't really... Oh, sorry, they can't really laundry either.
Yeah, laundry is not an option at this point, is it? Oh, there's an essay. Jam Advance. Here we go. Game on. There's no way Maxie is contesting this. No way.
Absolutely no way.
Yeah, so that's the problem, right? You give up your early Peace in Our Time, Stimhack, and Tapworm. Was it worth it? I'm really not sure. Those would have earned Maxie so much money over the course of the next few turns. And, well, Maxie might have gotten the Oberkata, but they let slip Nisemak too. And that's going to cause problems down the line.
Whew.
Okay, yeah. But at least Maxie is setting up now. They have at least 2 of their 3 breakers, including the including the SMC, which fetches anything. Again, another Alex White moment for you there. Rufus now is mostly just digging for that second Nisei. That's gonna be a bit tricky. If I were him, I'd be drawing very aggressively right now.
Frankly, I feel like he could safely score the Oberkata out. Oh, wait, no, Maxie's gone quite high up in money now.
He
Yeah,
could.
that's growing riskier.
Now, the Oberkata is a safe score. But it might come at the expense... Actually, no, you are quite right. If I were him, I would actually try to jam the Oberkata. This is a pretty good window for it because he has Excalibur into Egg Infusion Ice, and he just saw the Divey in the bin. So he knows there's no way Maxie is getting in. Yeah, you're right. That's a very good Oberkata scoring window. Well, here it is.
Oh, looks like... Yes, good. I'm glad.
Yep, there we go. So, problem is...
Maxie's rig.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, go on.
There we go. Sorry, yeah. Maxie has 5
Maxie's
clicks.
ring is ever expanding. And they're going for HQ.
Hitting the DNA tracker. That's going to be quite a credit hit for...
Absolutely.
No dice.
And he would put Rufus in a much stronger position as well.
Yes. Threatening match point is very huge. This is a much better game for Rufus now. Yeah, with the Nisei counter still intact and a Philotic at risk, this is looking very good for Rufus. What happened?
I'm not really sure.
Interesting. I don't know. Anyway, dirty laundry on HQ.
Oh, I think they're just joking about, oh no, a mistake happened.
Okay, all good. Yeah, Maxie finding all the money, but this is not the time to not run. Peace in Our Time, better known as game loss in your time, prevents you from running for the rest of your turn. Very important, subtle detail there. Oh!
Ooh.
No, you're a bit too poor for that. Just a bit. But Rufus can start jamming Maryland campaigns and feign Philotics, possibly forcing Maxie to check them every single turn.
And I think that Future Perfect is really quite safe behind the DNA tracker.
Very much, especially knowing that Film Critic is not in Maxie's deck. Good call. Yeah, interesting. What will you do this turn if you're Rufus? He's clearly thinking about it.
Honestly, I would play hedge. I think it's important to get his money a bit up because if he needs to rest things, he's only got 6 credits right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you would like to get into DNA range since, as you know, there's a DNA track on R&D. And yep, Rufus agrees. Hedge, cred. And peace in our time. Peaceful. Right, so Rufus doesn't have to worry about money anymore. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna jam something? Is he gonna dig for agendas? Yeah. Oh, it goes for the future perfect. I think that's game. I think that's
It
game.
almost certainly is because Excalibur's still there.
Well, Maxie does have the clone chip though, so that's something that Maxie can fetch. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Come on, you dive in your bin. Good try. I don't know.
Right, let's see if this resolves itself.
Yeah, that was a bit odd. I mean, I guess Rufus was still heavily favored because that wasn't the winning agenda. But okay, let's see what happens. So, Divey comes out, and it's a 3 strength Excalibur. So that's 2 credits to pump and 2 stealth credits to break. That's rather intensive, but it does get back 1 from that marker. Alright, let's see what Rufus reses here. Does he res the outer ice? We know the inner ice is an IP block, and that's getting resed. So Maxie could actually win this. I think Maxie could get the agenda.
Oof.
Oh yeah, going for the paperclip, that's a bit expensive, isn't it?
That's pretty worrying because there's also an Ash.
Yeah, and Maxie just concedes anyway. Alright, so that's that. Well played to both. And I think this game shows clearly what Rufus's deck, I should say, is meant to do. That was a very good showing.
Yes, that was thoroughly enjoyable.
Yes. And big commiserations to Maxie. Very well played the past few games. And bad luck. Bad luck on that turn 1 Obo counter. But hey, at least Maxie gave us some interesting footage.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And, of course, congratulations to Rufus.
Yes, so let's head to the bracket once again. And we have Rufus, who will face off against Peter in the grand final. Alright.
Who walks away with the mat? Dun, 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 dun.
Any favorites? Or predictions from you?
I think for me it depends on who's running and who's corping. Do we know yet?
Well, I think they'll both have to play both sides because Peter is 1 game up, coming from the winner's bracket.
Right.
So Rufus will have to win both games, but Peter just has to win 1. So I guess it's easier to root for Peter that way. But yeah.
Yes, but I think Rufus's corp situation is very strong.
That is true, yes. This Ag Infusion is... when it doesn't get a bad draw, it performs pretty well. Anyway, so that's that for our second wave of commentators. Thanks again very much, Ollie, for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, great pleasure having you. We'll get our third set of commentators shortly, and we'll be done with the finals games in a bit. So see you all then. All right, hi everyone. We'll be taking a quick 3-minute break. Our players need a break, and to be honest, I do need a break as well. So we'll see you in about 3 minutes. All right. All right. Thanks for waiting, everyone. So, all right. As mentioned, we have the finals going to be underway shortly. It's Peter versus Rufus. Two strong players. Peter is sporting Smoke versus CI, and Rufus will be playing Haley Egg Infusion. So, very strong decks piloted by very strong players, and perhaps a reflection of what we'll see at Worlds. For this wave of commentary, we'll have once again Russell. Hi, Russell.
Hey, hey.
And joining Russell will be, is it a bird? Is it a plane? I don't know, but it's Strong Goose. Hi, Strong Goose.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey, Strong Goose. Are you a bird?
No. Most of the time.
Oh, Laurie thinks so. Anyway.
Laurie doesn't think so, yeah.
Yes.
He has some interesting ideas about birds.
Yes, so any thoughts?
We should say, for those of you who aren't Slack channel
Yes.
regulars, Strong Goose is Dan. Dan
Yes.
Ouroboros. Dan Strong.
Yep.
Thanks for clarifying that, Russell. Okay, so any thoughts on these two players before we get into the game?
So what's the round one? What's the round one? What's the first game of the final pairing?
Yes.
Right,
I missed that.
Rufus will be running, which means it's going to be Haley versus CI.
Okay.
Peter CI.
I think that's the pairing that Rufus wants to start with, probably. Because I think the reverse... Sorry, is it Smoke the reverse?
Yep, the reverse is Smoke
It would
versus
be,
Agony.
yeah.
Oh, actually, maybe not. That's interesting.
Yes.
Obviously, Rufus fairly teched for CI, right?
What does he get?
Well, so he's got Employee Strike, mostly.
That's a card. Yes.
And also Clots.
Right.
Although, if I remember correctly, motionblur's CI is interesting, right?
Yeah, it's a spicy CI. It's not just MCA and score things out fast. It's I would really like to do you serious damage CI.
Was it a hard hitting news one? I'm just trying to bring up the deck
No,
list.
it's a Helheim Servers one, so
Oh, it's Helheim servers. Wow. Okay.
If you look at the list, there's a lot of spicy eyes in there. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Ashigaru and Brainstorm.
Wait, these aren't the deck lists.
These aren't the deck lists you're looking for.
Oh right, I was confused by the layout. I was looking at them on mobile earlier, and it wasn't in 2 columns, and now it's in 2 columns. And I was just confused by that. Cool.
Yeah, what's new? Strongus is always confused.
Mostly when traveling, really, but some of the rest of the time I'm fairly competent. Right, yeah. So it's yeah, it's kind of interesting. What's his restricted card? Fairchild. Yeah, Fairchild. Yeah, it should be interesting. If he has more of a backup plan that isn't scoring out fast, then that's going to help for sure against Haley.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, Haley does have the hate cards for the matchup, so this could end up being quite an uphill climb for Peter.
Oh yeah, so obviously an important thing is how many currents he's running, right?
Oh yeah, is that something worth checking out?
It's quite motionblur CI deck is quite like the one that that Dave Sayer Rotage ran in the Dutch Nationals.
Yes,
except for MCA austerity policy wasn't a card for that. But the Helmheim server's Brainstorm approach is one that Dave Sayer did very well.
Dave Sayer was a bit more in on kill, I think. He was running Neural, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and he also was making use of the card that basically did more. What was it? You, in return for your opponent losing cards, they have a choice between losing a cards or losing a click, and most people give up cards.
O2 shortage.
Then O2 shortage. That's right. So he's coupling it with O2 shortage.
Look, I take 2 minutes away from the stream and people talk about O2 shortage. Really?
True Jack.
Right. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, so on the current front, motionblur's running 2 scarcities and 1 archive memories, so he has a total of 3 possible.
I would say that's a bit scarce.
Yes, that is quite a scarcity of current resources.
Yeah, because who's that? Rufus. He has same old and 3 strikes.
Sorry?
Yeah, same old thing and 3 strikes, as you said.
Right. Yes. Only 1 same old thing though, so it's not quite full on. I did a bit of the playtesting with Rufus in the run up to this, and one of his very early lists was a Gaber list with 3 strike and 3 same old thing. That crushed CI. It was pretty insane actually. I was very surprised how good it was. But I guess most CIs just can't deal with the current recursion these days.
They can actually. In theory, I would say that CI is favored to win the current war most of the time, but only if you're running the full suite of archive mems and scarcities.
Yeah, but do they really like 3 archive, 3 scarcity? Is that a thing people
run? If you have the slots, why not?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Archive is a really good card because of violet level clearance. Anyway, we're getting into the game.
All right, cool.
So I'll leave you to the
The counter to it is that because Deja Vu's gone, your only real options for recovering the strike is to play same old thing, and people don't seem to be going down that route.
Are you all joining? Dan?
Sorry. Yeah. What's the password? Sorry.
What else is the password? Come on. It's Stimhack League.
The inestimable Glazebrook.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so pretty okay start from Peter, mostly just getting up to the 6 credit mark so you can get the UVC off next turn. In the meantime, Rufus gets a run off and gets attack 1 on the table along with SMC to threaten Claude. Not a bad thing. E-Strike! Oh, that puts off the UVC plans for now. Oh yeah, this strike's gonna hurt. Hurt real bad.
Well, it's got Stinson in hand at only 5 cards right now, so it doesn't really, he's going to draw. I can put Stinson there. He can't fire the ultraviolet clearances, though, and I guess until he's You can install some
it's
ice
interesting
and then go for
timing
that next turn.
the strike, but yes, it does make UVC much less appealing. I'd kind of be tempted to go for a UVC here anyway.
I think you have to. Your deck is so reliant on drawing.
And he doesn't want to. He wants to. Is that him scoring out? No, that was
Stinson.
That was
Yep.
Brian. I guess he wants to beta run then. That's interesting, given that he hasn't used UVC yet. Ooh.
Oh, this is
Ouch.
sweet. This is so sweet.
Oh no, that's harsh. Yeah, that's really bad for Rufus, actually.
What can he install? What's his sentry
It's
breaker?
Nanaka, I think.
He has to take the net damage here.
Yeah, you can't Nanaka that, can he?
That's a lot of breakers going to bin.
Oof. Brutal. Yeah. He can't quite pull in an Atman at 4, can he? No, he's he's like 3 credits short, basically. I think he has to take the net, which is unfortunate.
I mean, it's better than flatline. Sorry.
He's got a full package. Sorry.
Yeah, Russell, you were saying?
Well, I don't know. Can he do something weird with Haley to at least save one of the cards in his hand, one of the breakers in his hand? So he could SMC for something and then store something from hand, even if he doesn't break.
Oh yeah, it's true. He could have SMC'd for another SMC and installed something, potentially.
Yeah, and that would have given him 1 damage.
Yeah.
This shape and nonsense is beyond me. I've been trying to play a Haley deck for the last couple of days, and it's so
that's
weird.
a very good point. Yeah, that would have been probably a pretty good play, actually. Although choosing what to install there is tough, right? I think he can make a recovery. He probably doesn't really need Atman this game.
Down to 3 credits though. That's not good. Now the current's cleared, he's got to discard down to 3.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And he's only got 3 credits. So if I'm Rufus now, I'm running HQ.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's definitely a good play.
Or I'm indexing, but then
indexing is also acceptable. I think not running HQ here. Well, he might still, I suppose. You definitely want
see off the R&D run.
Yeah,
I would definitely be running HQ once or
twice. It's interesting that we can't have a UVC next turn either.
No.
Yeah, CI is still on the back foot.
Can he do something with Brian? What's in the bin that he can fire with Brian?
Oh, there's a UVC in the bin. Yeah, he can Brian a UVC. That's
can't now though.
No, he can't.
Yeah, he can take a credit. He can take a credit, res Brian, and then fire one that's from the bin.
Well, Rufus is on 19 credits as well, so that doesn't seem that likely.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, there was that.
Fortunately, Brian has this down.
Yes, it does. Yeah, well spotted, sir.
Oh, watch out for Haley shenanigans.
Yeah, time for a lady from hand, I suspect. Question is, what's the IP block for? Gordian, that's an interesting choice. I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, it's missing breaker. Yep. Well,
I would have maybe gone for a tap one there. Oh wait, no, tap one terrible right now. Sorry, my mistake. There's the elective. Real 5/3s, guys, not even once.
You're just going to see the brainstorm there. Not much of a threat when he's on 4 credits.
Rufus, it's interesting. Rufus doesn't have a huge amount of board at the moment. He's been fairly aggressive. Drawing up, yeah, it seems good.
Yeah, he doesn't really need to be that aggressive though. Anyway, Dan, have you played much CI since rotation?
No, it's just not fun if you can't combo.
Jeez.
No, I haven't. I was kind of going off CI towards the end of the.
Okay.
To be honest, I played the really silly Stel Moon combo when that was legal for a bit. where you draw your entire deck with their Stone Moon and then do the 7-point combo. But it just wasn't any fun. It was much easier to combo than shut down CI. But anyway,
definition of fun.
It was easier, so like less of a challenge, I guess. But anyway, I never claimed CI was fun to play against.
Strong Goose, I didn't invite you on stream to preach about CI here.
Preach about CI? Oh, sorry, I apologise. I'm reformed, Ben. I have, as we just discussed, I haven't played CI.
Yes, you have been forgiven for that.
So dragging our attention back to the game, things do get harder now. Rufus has stolen the elective, right?
Yes.
Being 3 points ahead and not in a food situation here, it's got to get a couple of successful indexing runs or.
And here we see the problem with Cortex, of course, which is that the best Cortex lock breaker is a installed SMC that isn't doing anything. It's even better if you've got Hyperdriver.
Haha. I heard that's a good card.
Yeah, I have fond memories of Apocalypse Kate walking through Cortex locks with Hyperdrivers installed.
Yikes. Indexing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's actually quite awkward for Rufus right now. He doesn't really want to use the lady counters. He does have a Scavenge in hand.
I'm sure. Yeah, he'll just use the lady. Why not?
Yeah. Still not ideal, but
Nope.
yeah, I think you got to do it.
Yeah, so what do you do as Peter here? It's going to be very awkward next turn, having res that Mother Goddess.
It is very tough. I think you aim to tax them out here.
What do you
Getting
think, Russell?
Sorry.
I think I'm clicking for credits unless I get a draw a hedge. I don't know there's much else you can do, right? 7 credits, 8 cards. What can you do? Not much.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
You're not going to be resing either the Fairchild or the Rotor Turret anytime soon.
I think the long plan
the
is to get Fairchild and MCA on that remote, but yeah, you're right. He does have more immediate money problems.
Putting the MCA out there is not great either right now.
I wonder if you play Scarcity.
Scarcity would be good.
That's very greedy, knowing the opponent has strike.
Yeah, he's seen strike.
There you go.
That's bad. That's not good.
That's really bad.
Oh dear. Had very leaky corpse today.
Hey, Helheim servers could save the day. You never know.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. Make that Cortex lock strength something.
And deal all of
That's-
0 net damage.
Deal no net damage.
So much 0 net damage. Was that? Oh, what was that he installed on the remote there?
He put Fairchild out. Was it Fairchild? Rotor Turret. It's Rotor Turret.
Oh, Rotor Turret. Oh, that's
So
interesting.
Rotor Turret might not be bad with Helheim servers right now.
Yeah, that's certainly true, actually. Although, does he really want to
there
empty
go.
his hands with
There
Helheim?
go the sack cons.
Yeah.
So he's not even going to be able to trash anything, even if he gets Helheim servers to fire.
Yeah. And and Fast Advance is looking a fair bit worse right now, right?
You've got to be so careful to stay above 6, though. Rufus has got to stay above 6 credits at the end of his turn, otherwise it opens things up completely again.
Is this not cards he's seen? Yeah, there we
Wow.
go.
Oof. Man.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I think he might have seen that Kronos off the indexing, actually.
I think so, yes.
Because he couldn't get in twice with the lady that turn. But yeah.
Very well played by
Oh,
Rufus. Very well
Yeah,
timed.
well played. I think Rufus played that very well. He kept the pressure up and hit HQ when he needed to.
Yeah. On the other hand, a very awkward opening for Peter. Like 2
Yes.
UVCs in hand, but the strike came down immediately. It just goes to show how good strike is when CI doesn't have the hate cards for it.
Yeah, indeed. No, I think Strike is very strong right now.
Sure.
I think it was probably my restricted card of choice.
So does this mean we have a grand final?
It does,
It does.
and
Very
it
exciting.
should be starting anytime soon. So next matchup will be Smoke versus
Smoke,
Ag
okay.
Infusion. for the third time, Smoke versus Eigen Fusion today. What do y'all think of this matchup? Actually, it'll do us good to actually see Peter's Smoke deck. I think we haven't seen it in action yet. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, I think we've seen it once. But
it's an interesting matchup. I think it's a fun one to have as the final. Should be good.
It's one more rather than Astrolabe.
Yeah, the Singleton Moor. It's very interesting. It's not a kind of console slot that you see that often. One more.
Yeah. Film Critics is restricted card, and that's going to do nothing.
wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah, this deck's full of Overcast protocols.
Oh, I'm looking at Motion Blur's Corp rather than. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm looking at the two side by side. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you got to get that Film Critic and steal those own Overcast protocols.
Yes, it's a good card for this matchup.
Yeah. And a Future Perfect as well. Yeah, no, that's quite good. Moore could potentially do a lot of work. Obviously, he needs to find it. All right, where are we? There we go. Oh, we've got some starting hands. That is a great starting hand for Rufus, I think.
Oh wow, that is a starting hand.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid.
Money and Brutal Ice.
Yeah, the only thing you really want there is a Nisei, I think, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Oh wow, that starting hand. Wow. Just wow. But hey, team totals and biometric spoofing. Woo.
Biometric spoofing. That's a card.
Sure is. Yeah, Peter's farming up. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you can. That's one you could fire on a crucial run if you were worried about going through Kikugo, right? So that would save you a Kikugo ping.
Yeah. That's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Peter
Pretty
charging
simple.
up the total here. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, I wonder how far this turtle's going to go.
Yeah, knowing that there's a Tobu and Shiashi waiting along with the DNA tracker.
I know everybody loves the Turt, but I'm a bit skeptical about Omakua these days, to be honest, actually, because there's just so much tech for it around. IP block's really unpleasant.
What I'm really curious is the total in Smoke of all IDs. You would think that Smoke Breakers are good enough.
Yeah, but it's an AI breaker, right?
Yep, the total's pretty smart.
It's a question of I guess it's a question of whether you take it over Atman, right? It's certainly better than Dive V, I think.
If you can get it up to 3, it helps you with Excalibur, right? That's the one that you're really. That's the one that it's there for. And you'll take a tag if you time your runs right.
More! Oh, why aren't you dropping more? Come on, drop more and run. Alright, so up to 4 total counters now.
All the money. So when do you start building a remote?
That's a very good question.
Chiashi, right, is good to have out with Amakua there.
Yeah, your ice placement is tricky because you want Chiashi in front of the other ice so that you can force egg infusion triggers. So you don't really want to install the Chiashi as the innermost ice yet. Interesting. Turning wheel. And Batty gets trash. So yeah, I'm not sure. You're right. Maybe Rufus should be thinking of building a defended remote sooner rather than later. This Ichi might be a good target for Eigen Fusion. Like make an Ichi Chiashi into Ichi server. But no, decides to put Ichi on HQ instead. That's not gonna do much against the turtle, to be honest.
One of the challenges here as well is that while it's great to get the Amakua counters up and so on, you're not drawing into your film critics.
That is very true.
So at some stage you've got to draw to try and pull the pieces together. You need Netmerker. He still doesn't have Netmerker yet.
Yeah, But you bet he's gonna run. Oh yeah, he can't even run archives to install the Tapworm now. So yeah, you're right. Getting sealed off right here. And I think you can see a purge coming from Rufus sooner rather than later. Maybe this turn. Yep, there you go.
Yep, there you go.
But I guess one good thing about running Omaqua in Smoke is that you don't have to worry that much about Purge. You have your regular Stealth Breakers, which do just fine. So, yeah. Peter not that rich right now. I get the cloak down if I were him. Maybe the dagger as well, but memory is pretty awkward. Yeah, money is kind of an issue here.
Do you try and get Chiashi out there so that you can get it rezzed, right? So if you could put Chiashi out there and then try and score behind it, you could bouncing into there. It's pretty expensive for Smoke. They've got Clip is their breaker for Chiashi, 7 credits a time. Plus, potentially with Turtle still on board, you're losing 4 cards off your stack.
For sure. That's a very strong ice to score behind. Unfortunately, he hasn't found the agendas he's looking for. Those Nisseis are so elusive. Rufus having a very hard time finding them. There we go. Rufus has found his target Egg Infusion ice of choice in that Cortex lock. It's now dead weight, so it's the inner ice on his remote. Very good call there.
Yeah, so do you push over Carter next turn? Probably you do. You need 7 credits. 7 credits plus 4 to install plus, so it's 7 credits twice. So he needs 18 credits to get in using Clip.
And that's still the Betty to deal with. Yes.
It does depend on your draw a little bit, I guess. I think, as Rufus here, I would be a bit worried about R&D. Does anyone remember what the R&D ice was? Is it DNA Tracker?
Yep, it's Tracker.
That's nice. Yeah, that's good. That's going to help with indexing. Oh, okay, yeah, he pushes the Obercarter, as Ross was.
Rufus is out of patience. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's a reasonable play for sure.
So he's 10 credits. Yeah, I don't think he can get through Chiashi twice.
Yeah,
he's got an SMC. He's got an SMC for Clip as well.
He's going for R&D instead. Gonna review that DNA Tracker.
DNA.
But very well prepared for it. So it's a bit awkward here because Peter doesn't have Netmarker, so he can't actually run through DNA Tracker twice. You need 4 stealth credits for that, which means the indexing isn't quite live just yet. And so Rufus scores out in the meantime.
That's a nicely timed Tapworm, though.
Yes, yeah, catching Rufus off guard there. Gonna get him a good amount of credits as Peter. Very important there. He needs to get his Maw down ASAP so that he can expand his rig.
He really needs a Netmarker as well.
What will you discard here as Rufus? This is a tough hand.
So I wondered there whether he would maybe leave the Obercarter for another time for the next turn. Could he keep it up there for one more turn and then play, I don't know, Batty Hedge IPO, right?
That's a very good shout. I think that would have been a better play.
Although you are giving Peter more money with the Tapworm then.
That is
yeah, but it's still not going to give him the 18 credits that he needs to get into, to get through that twice. Plus, you're going to bounce him into DNA Tracker as well.
Yeah. I think it has to be Tracker or Marilyn, I think.
Yeah. Tracker's not that attractive against Smoke. Batty.
That's
curious.
That's a bit dubious, to be honest.
Very curious.
I'm not sure about that.
We'll see how that plays out. I mean, he's sitting in the finals and we're not, so maybe.
Yeah.
Right, more! Everyone's favorite.
Here we go. What was the HQ ice?
You can hover over it.
Itchy.
It's itchy.
Oh yes, so I can. Very good.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, lovely.
Feature.
I didn't know spectators could do that these days. That's good. Oh, is that maybe in only open hands mode?
Yes,
anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Rufus debating whether he wants to give Peter the free Tapworm trigger here. I mean, getting 1 extra credit on Tapworm.
Yeah, I think you do.
It's interesting how much smoke is reliant on net merker, right? You're so hampered if you don't have net merker. Yes. And he's only running 2, interestingly.
Well, speak of the devil.
2 net merkers and one more was very brave.
Yeah.
Trashing the turtle. Poor old turt.
Oh!
So when, if ever, do you purge to get rid of this tatworm?
Never.
Yeah.
You have a Nisei! Yeah. Come on! Jam the Nisei!
I mean, you now jam the Nisei. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, this seems...
Wait, he can't res the Chiashi, though, if he does that.
No.
But you can Nisei advance IPO. That's why you held your IPO in hand, right?
Can he then score the Nisei after Chiashi? Yes, he can, right?
I think the bigger problem here was that he actually iced R&D, so his Egg Infusion bounce is not going to force the break.
Yeah, not sure about that. That did seem a bit premature. I guess he preempted the Nebuchadnezzar, which is good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think your line is good, Ben. Yeah, and it looks like he's going for it.
IPO.
There we go.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. It is a shame about the bounce, but sometimes it's unavoidable as Agin.
So 10. Yeah. So it's still 18, 19 credits with the SMC tax.
Yep, it's pretty expensive. I don't think Peter can afford it. I think Peter's next best bet is to just gear up for an indexing next turn. Big indexing.
Yeah, and if he does res Chiashi and scores the Nisei, he's down to 2 credits.
Yes, there's nothing can do about that. More! That hedge fund's going in the bin.
Oh, that's a shame. It's always sad getting your economy moored.
Yeah. So for those of you just tuning in, this is the grand finals of UK Stimhack League 4. I'm joined by Dan Strong Goose, and Russell, the organizer of UK Stimhack League 4. And we have our grand finals here. This is the last game. Peter against Rufus for the win. Breach Dome! Look at that!
Yeah. It's
so
spicy.
That's the one, isn't it? That scored Nisei counter now. He just needs...
Yeah,
any agenda now.
Yeah,
that he can pull you 3 times through Chiashi.
Mm-hmm.
He needs some money.
Ooh, interesting.
Not sure about that, Raz.
I'm not sure either. Dagger's pretty efficient.
It's still a bit of tax, I suppose.
Breach Dome! Oh!
Very nice.
Glorious Breach Dome.
So what did that hit? Indexing. Oh, and the clip. No.
Yeah, clip. So
it milled the paper clip, so actually helped Peter out there.
Classic mill problems. Purging. I would be drawing there.
I would be too. I don't think you win against Smoke late game in economy because of the pieces. Piece in your time.
He's very poor now, yeah.
There you go. You're wasting time there. What you really want is something expensive outside Kakuga, so that if he's going to run more stuff off HQ, then at least you're penalising him a 1 hit point a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to the itchy res on HQ. It doesn't seem like a very good ice at this point in time.
And the loss of that hedge fund has hurt quite a lot, right?
Definitely.
Because now he's gonna. I mean, I guess he's either gonna have to draw some econ, and he's played most of it, or he's just gonna have to actually
just get something out of hand, right? You want to just get have nothing in hand at the moment.
Yeah. What he wants to do is draw a campaign or a Marilyn campaign now.
Yeah,
jam that.
I mean, just look at all the sacrificial constructs coming out. Like, Rufus is not going anywhere with these purges for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Also a bit unfortunate on Peter's end. He installed the SACCon first, and... Oh wait, no, never mind. Now running HQ, gonna get another more trigger.
Oh, he's doing a turning wheel. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh,
Fast
interesting.
track, but you
That's
can't
the
rest the
one-
Chiashi
that's- No, you can't. You need more money.
that's a
You're
real
not gonna-
shame. Really want that. You really want to kick that off, but he just doesn't have enough money.
here. Yeah.
This purging seems really
Questionable.
dubious to me.
I mean, that fast track's going to go into the bin very soon with more around.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And now Peter says, screw it, I'm going R&D.
Yep.
Right, and it's not that expensive to R&D lock here, right? Because is he going to draw 2 cards when he knows that he's vulnerable to running HQ with the turning wheel next turn if he does overdraw?
Well, if I'm Peter, I'm more worried about... Oh, that's the Philotic. I'm more worried about having enough credits to
Oh,
contest the
no, Future
remote.
Perfect.
Oof.
That's bad.
No critic.
This has gone sideways very fast for Rufus, actually.
Yeah, because he's going to draw the Future Perfect even if he wins the side game here. And that's going to get
Yeah,
more.
and then it's
That's going to get moored.
and then he's going to go in the bin, and he's just going to run the bin and vamp him down, playing 0 every time on
Bit
the side game.
2. Ouch.
Is that the second card down? That's really not.
No,
think
that's
yes.
the top card now. He's going to draw it next round.
It's the 3rd card, but he stole a Philotic before that, so it becomes the 2nd card. So,
That's what I thought, yeah.
yeah, very interesting how this played out. Rufus decided to go slow. I think that's a mistake, but we'll see how he plays it out from here.
I think. Oh, is it the top card?
I don't think so. Why are you running R&D again?
He might just jack out for a turning wheel counter as possible.
Ah, yes, of course. Yes.
I was wondering if Rufus would do that. That seems alright, actually. Force him to eat the itchy. He's not ever rezzing that DNA tracker at this point, so
Ah, it was a DNA tracker. I see.
yeah.
You know what would have been good on R&D? Mirage. Too bad it's milled, but
But so here's an interesting
Yeah,
one.
that'd
Right?
be
So do you with Ash in the remote, and a Nisei counter, do you put the agenda in the remote with him on 3 credits? A Nisei counter.
what's the ice
what
again?
can you do there?
Chiashi into Cortex Lock? He's just going to run it.
Tortoise Lock does nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, you run 4 times and steal it, right?
Yeah, that's why Rufus needed the hedge fund and money badly instead of spending the last umpteen turns purging. He's still going to purge next turn. He has to
remember
purge.
he's got. I remember that Pete has effectively 8 credits because he's got smoke,
Yes.
Netmical. So he can actually contest that Ash.
Yep, that's quite important to note. Those credit pools are very deceiving when you don't take into account Netmerker. He's running R&D again. Huh.
Yeah, so it must be the PFP on top, I think. I think we
But
must
it's
have
not.
miscounted.
It's not, right? Unless he trashed the first card, which I didn't.
Did he use 1 or 2 turning wheels?
2. That was
Okay.
not a future perfect. It was an
Whoa.
overcarter.
Oh, that's really bad.
All 3 agendas on top of R&D. Wow, that is bad.
Damn.
Now
Okay, so now
yeah, I think that's game over.
what? Can you jam?
How?
He's got no credits. He's got 3
So you-
credits. What
He's got
can he
3
do with
credits.
Ash?
He can
bounce
rewrite
him
into a DNA tracker.
and he's got Ash, which he can res, and then he won't be able to access because he won't have enough money. And he's got a Nisei token,
Can you?
so he can bounce him into tracker. He comes back again.
No, not jamming.
No, you can't.
I think you could have. I think
I
it's
think he has a new win con here. It's called Excalibur, and he needs to drop it on the remote now. Like
no. He dropped the launch. Oh yeah, but more.
he needs
Is-
the
is-
Excalibur on the remote.
Is Pete gonna run next turn?
Surely he knows the future perfect's in hand, so he's gonna run his hand one way or another. with a dirty laundry, I don't see why not.
Yeah, you can just click through, can't you, if you really want to.
This has gone sideways really quickly because Rufus has just given out on the purging plan, and now there's a Tatworm sitting there like, haha.
Those accesses were very unlucky. It's a shame. Seeing Philotic, Obercarter, and then the Future Perfect on top of it was pretty rough.
Yeah, we were all scratching our head, and now we know why. I mean, the good news, if it's even good news, is that Peter lost his film critic to the Obercarter damage.
That's nice. Yeah, that helps a lot.
What is Rufus drawing for? I don't know. I have no idea what Rufus is drawing for.
Yeah, not jamming that launch campaign or installing that Excalibur. It's very odd. I'm not sure about that at all.
So it's interesting. So there's a 2 in 5 chance on every run here that the TFP goes in the bin.
Yep.
Yeah. If it does, it's not a good time for Rufus.
Or you access it and play Psy.
The thing is, if he accesses it and plays Psy and loses, he still gets the more trigger. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unless you Nisei it, right?
So,
and he hit it straight out. Oh no, sorry, there was
no, he hit the IP block.
Glitch from me. It's IP block, okay.
Excalibur has to be the win con here. There's no way he's getting enough time to get the Chiashi online.
So it's an interesting one, isn't it? If you draw Obercarter now, do you put Obercarter, install advance on Obercarter with Ash there? 5 credits available. They can't take the damage then off the...
Well, Rufus might be thinking is that there might be a way to break Excalibur, because he's got an FTC up, right?
If he can put Batty in the remote and then next turn put TFP in.
I'm not sure what you're using Batty
right.
on.
No, you're not using it on Chiashi, that's for sure.
Yeah, you need Excalibur. So you Excalibur the remote.
Like, here's the thing. You might be worried about an AI breaker, but you look at the bin, you see there's a turtle in there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be worried about an AI breaker. That's the last thing I'd be worried about.
That seems correct to me.
So the play is install Excalibur over the top of Chiashi.
Right? Or just override the Cortex lock, or override the Chiashi. You don't need both of them now.
Yeah, possibly.
That should have been done last turn. I'm not sure what he's waiting for here.
Yeah, you're right, because he could have scored out this turn if he'd done that.
Exactly. You have 2 to rest the Excalibur and 5 to score the Future Perfect, which is perfect.
Yeah, so you've just got to hope that R&D holds up for light.
Which it probably will. There are only 3 agendas left in.
I think possibly he just hasn't seen that line.
Yeah.
He might be worrying about his credit total, and not seeing that he can just install the Excalibur and
that's true.
Go.
So if you put the Excalibur in the remote and then put launch campaign in to bait the run, maybe to keep him off HQ, and then next turn you install advance the TFP.
Possibly.
It's not a terrible plan. It does make it much more likely to hit TFP on more though. Well, much more. It makes it a bit more likely to hit TFP on more, which wouldn't be bad. I think
Go on.
I'd draw here. I
just click for a credit. You're so poor.
No, I think you draw to minimise the chance of that TFP getting hit.
You've got to overwrite. You've got to get Excalibur out there this turn, I think. Right? Install Excalibur, draw a card, take a credit.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So I'm thinking draw just because you draw first.
Or draw, and then see what you get, and then Excalibur or hedge or whatever it is that you're going to do.
Well, that's step 1. That's step 1. We're getting somewhere.
Okay. No, you install the Excalibur.
So we've been focusing a lot on what Rufus can do. What about Peter's lines here?
Well, just run HQ, right? You know the Future Perfects is there.
Annoying, right?
Yeah. You run for more. You maybe run R&D.
I think gambling there is good. He probably wants to Dirty Laundry HQ because he wants some money up a bit.
Oh.
2 cards. He's only got 2 cards in hand and no film critic, right?
Well, that's the film critic there.
There's the film critic, but he can't steal over Carter here.
Well, he can drop the Film Critic and run and steal.
That's true. He
one
can.
way to do it.
That would be game, yeah.
Yeah, that would be game. There's a good chance that he
And
wins
the
it here, I think.
run.
Ooh.
I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
correct. That's correct.
Seems solid.
I like that.
Yep. Seems very good.
No more triggers
so
this
now,
turn.
now he's got to.
Oh, shit.
Oh, look at that.
Well, that's
Well.
okay because you keep the TFP in hand and you install advanced, and this they take a credit.
No, you install double advance hit to bluff its TFP, so he thinks you don't
Yeah.
have any agendas
He
left in
doesn't
hand.
want him to know that the future
Yeah.
perfect's still in hand. Oh, wow. Look at this. Look at this. Does he take a credit? Does he advance it?
Advance it again, Rufus.
He needs to advance
Advance
it.
it again.
Please advance it. I mean,
Don't
taking
take
a
it,
credit
Rez.
here means that he can rest both Excalibur and Ash, but that's irrelevant because he can just
Yeah,
fire
it's completely
anti-fusion. He has to advance it.
Advance the Mise.
You can do it.
5.
Oh, no. What?
What?
Ah,
Why?
That's also acceptable, I guess. Is it? Well,
No.
He can bounce. Well, he can bounce the HQ run, so he can bounce
that's
them
an
into
IP block, right?
Yes, it's IP block. You can't
Which
use
is
the
quite
bounce because
interesting.
you need to use the
He
bounce
can't
for the
use the
remote.
bounce. No.
That's. I think Rufus just realized what a mistake that was. I mean, now HQ is more vulnerable, and he knows, and that clues Peter in that there's a future perfect. Oh.
But here's a but, right? He can, if the
shit.
TFP does get moored. If the
Oh, wait,
TFP
no.
does get moored, he's got at least a chance to
This is
win
okay.
one side game. Oh no, because the critical will take it, but he can score next turn.
I think possibly what he was thinking is that he doesn't have enough credits to score the Mise now, and he does. He's
does.
okay.
He does.
But that was still not great.
Oh, I think that's
not,
game.
Okay, that's
That's
game.
gotta be game.
That's
That's
game.
game.
The only way this could not be game.
Is if there's an AI breaker or a fem.
Yeah.
Nope, there
Yeah,
isn't.
that's game.
So that's game.
There's nothing in archives, right?
Nope.
No, but he's
Yeah,
going to put him on.
right.
Well, he's going to put him on to.
Archives.
He's going to
Archives,
put him
sure.
on.
Uh,
Yeah, put him
that's the
onto
safer
archives.
server by
Yeah.
far, and that's game.
Yeah. Because if the top card's an agenda on R&D, then that's
6 face down cards. I don't think that there were no agendas in there.
no, none of them are agendas. They're all ice mostly. Yeah, that's good. That's game.
Wow.
Very nice.
What
Very
a
nice.
finish. Oh, those agendas all coming out. What a
So
finish.
beautiful Ag Infusion finish there.
Credit perfect.
I mean, there were a bunch of lopsided co-op games, but this one came down to the wire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good. That was a good game. A good game for both players. Both.
That makes
He had to run the remote at some point there. I think
that was the final, right?
It sure
that was
was.
the final.
That makes Rufus our champion. Very nicely played.
Super.
Yeah. Pulled up from the bottom bracket as well. It's a tough thing to do.
Whew. I'm still kind of flawed. Like, both players were flirting with disaster there. That turn by Rufus could have gone so much wrong. So horribly wrong.
So, are we going to get Rufus to come on?
Yes. Yep. He'll come on shortly. Meanwhile, let's look at
We
live
should,
chat.
and we should get Ollie's playmat image up on screen so that Rufus can see what he's won.
Oh yes.
So a while ago, Rufus had told me that he'd win the Stimhack League in honour of me leaving London. So he's true to his word.
There you go. You're the champion from the last league, right, Dan?
I am, yeah.
Only 4 Stimhack League champions mats in existence. That's fewer than there are World Championship playmats.
Yeah, it's a very exclusive club.
Haha. Yep, so hold on shortly. We'll get the winner's interview underway in time to come. Actually, we should put up his decks on my PowerPoint. Let me find them. Alright. Here it is. Okay, there we go. Hi, Rufus.
Hey, Ben.
Hello!
Hi.
And big
Can you hear me?
congratulations. Congrats for taking it down. And that's another one for Team London.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, it's all a bit of a blur right now. It's kind of this tournament went so fast.
Yes, I'm pretty blown away as well. That last game was, oh my gosh. When you were
Yeah.
saying that, I think I made a mistake there. We were all like, "Yep, you darn did a mistake there."
Yeah, and then Pia ran the remote. It was kind of Icing HQ was so dumb there. It was for some reason I thought that I completely miscalculated the fact that I would need the Ag Infusion pop on both the remote and HQ if that plan was going to work. So once he ran HQ and I would pop him to R&D, well then he could just run the remote and I'd lose. So and then I realized that as his turn began, I was like, oh no, and now I've just basically if he runs 3 times on HQ and runs again, he needs to run 2 times and run again, but
Yep.
it's but this is what I was thinking about. It's it was a hard turn because he can't rely on Film Critic that turn, otherwise I win.
Mhm.
So it was, I was kind of thinking maybe I could pull it through, but it was definitely a mistake on my part to install on HQ there.
Yeah.
We wondered whether you might double advance the Nissay to bluff it as the TFP, so that he thought that there wasn't anything in hand.
Yeah, that would have been a thing. That probably was better line. I was just trying to, I just thought I was completely wrong on the HQ install and thought I could protect both the remote and HQ. So that was my mistake line in there. And then, if I had realized I couldn't do that play, that probably would have definitely been a better line.
Yeah, but to your credit, we were shouting at the screen hoping that you would see that your win condition towards the end was the Excalibur, and you did actually manage to get it on the remote. So
yeah, as his credit hit, Pia's credit pool went way too low to really deal with an AI at that point. And I was trying to work out whether he may have had a second turtle in his deck, which he may have, but I thought it was worth the risk. There was a turn before where I thought that maybe I could just install the TFP in the remote and then try and just sort of score it over 2 turns. But as I predicted, if I did that, then I'd have to spend the Nisei counter on the first run, which would have left me open to the indexing, which I managed to block.
yeah, speaking of the indexing, that was a very well timed Nisei token. All the agendas
Yeah, it was.
came floating to the surface. That was ridiculous.
If he just run it, he would have won.
Exactly, right? Yeah. That was crazy. But, I mean, all credit to you for stopping that indexing. I think a lot of people would have saved it for the Excalibur combo, not realizing that Ag Infusion's ability would have just done it. So,
Yeah, exactly. It's kind
So
of...
you actually stopped him indexing rather than stopping the rerun after he'd ordered the cards, right?
Yeah, I stopped the indexing being successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no point in stopping the run after, because if he knows his agenda's there, then it's just basically a ticking clock. Yeah, and smoke, you can't really stop smoke. You can just basically you can stop her for a turn maybe, or stop her big sort of swing runs, but eventually she will just keep coming back and back and back again and again.
yep.
Because net mature.
Yeah, indeed. I want to pick your brains on Tapworm there. You spent at least 3 turns in a row purging. What was the thought process behind that?
So my thought process there was that I thought I was going to have to rely on the
Shashi?
Chiashi on the remote to basically win out the game. And the thing was that if I was to build up credits to start being able to reg Chiashi, the problem would be that Tapworm was turned on, and then any hope of taxing Peter would have been out the window. It would have been terrible. So I've been talking to Rotom about this for a while, how basically knowing when not to purge Taplin is a huge sort of like, it's a huge moment in games with Ag Infusion, because sometimes you wait and don't purge so you can rush forward agendas, and then when you realize you're in the portion of the game where, okay, my HQ has nothing in it, so they can't pressure me there, I just have to keep hitting this purge button, because eventually the game will grind out, and if Tapworm is online, then you just can't grind out Smoke.
So the other line that is there as well, though, Rufus, is that if you're purging and they're burning satcons to keep Tapworm up, at that point, Itchy Batty becomes live.
Yeah, that is, that's a side effect that actually helps a lot sometimes.
Yeah, it was actually quite heartbreaking to see you spend so much effort purging, and just at the last second you decided, oh no, I have more important stuff to do. Let's leave.
Well, yeah. And then it's just sort of went, oh, there's a future perfect there. I can't do this anymore. As soon as I saw the future perfect, it was kind of as soon as he got up to 5 points, there was a future perfect in or any agenda really. It just becomes, oh well, that game's over. I now have to somehow win this, and thankfully the Scalper turned up when it did.
Did you feel
Otherwise,
like...
I think I would.
Yeah. Did you feel like you were out of it when the future perfect turned up?
I thought I could save it. It was when he stole the Obercarter as well that I thought, oh, okay, because as long as I could keep him fighting for it, I thought that maybe I could survive, or if there wasn't another gender, I could survive maybe. But yeah, as soon as he got up to 5 points, and I knew the future perfect was there as well, yeah, it was very, very close for me. Very, very close to me losing there.
Nice. Oh, any other questions, guys?
No, I think it was rewarding that the last game that we saw was a sort of more classic Netrunner game with backwards and forwards after so many blowouts in the other games. Poor Kieran losing off three R&D accesses.
I haven't been keeping up with the stream, but that sounds very sad.
Yeah, that was rough pulls on some of the games happening so far. So to finish off with a much better, more finely balanced game was a really nice way to end with.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm glad I managed to redeem Ag Infusion after the first game. Yeah, that first game it just ended up into a point where unpurgeable Tapworms and a remote that was just sort of so leaky you couldn't score anything for it. It was
Yeah, that was quite sad to watch. But anyway, you did it. So big congrats for fighting your way through the losers bracket, and congrats! Now you're the proud owner of a big fat Sensei Actors onion.
Yes, and I will put them in all my decks now as well. Obviously.
All right, so thanks.
Just like comparison. Anyway.
Yeah, thanks again, Rufus, for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me, Ben. Thank you very much, Toll, for running it all and organising the prizes, and thank you very much for Headcrabs for drawing the prize, and yeah, thanks for all the streamers to coming on and making it a good event. It was really, really fun to play.
Yeah, so my thanks to the commentators as well for all they did, and again, talk knowledge Catherine for her contributions and support for Stimhack League 4. There will be a Stimhack League 5. We're not quite sure exactly when it will be. We'll let the commotion of worlds settle down, I think, and then perhaps towards Christmas we might run another one, or else it'll be early in the new year.
Yep, speaking of that, don't forget to tune in Worlds. It's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Should be a pretty fun one to watch. Not as fun as this though. Where else will you find epic Ag Infusion games like this? Anyway, thanks once again to Russell and Catherine for hosting Stimhack League as always. And here's to many more. And that's all from us for now. And good night and goodbye.
Goodbye.